That's it.
We're just trying to close up the wealth gap. Get to this generational wealth, bet that. We gon' lift off like a jetpack. Time to tune in, not just speaking real facts. Right here is everything you need. This ain't no get rich quick thing. Create your own economy. Cause we ahead of the crypto curve, yeah. Create your own economy. Let's get ahead of the crypto curve, yeah. Learn from the queen of crypto, your host, Najah Roberts, leading people out of financial slavery through Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Create your own economy.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where we are creating Satoshi millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time. And ladies and gentlemen, that means you. I am your host, Najah Roberts, and it is my mission in life to lead my people out of financial slavery. Today, I am feeling so jovial. I'm just enjoying this cryptocurrency space more so for you because the more research I do, the more research I do, the more research I do. And I feel so confident about where we sit in our cryptocurrency journey. And so today is Thursday, February 16th. And I would like to say happy birthday to a few cryptopians. We have Byron Brooks, we have Bellamy Williams, Andre Bodie, and Byron Jackson. And I would like to say happy birthday to each and every one of you. I hope that your day is filled with all the love, joy, and jovialness that I am experiencing today because I'm just excited. I'm excited about this space. I'm excited about the growth. I'm excited about so many things, and we'll talk about that in just a few. But if you would like for me to give you a shout out, you are a Cryptopian, please send me a text message to 424-317-7373. Again, 424-317-7373. And it's going to ask you for your birthday, and we'll be able to get that out to you, not just by text message, but on the air. And happy Black Futures Month to each and every one of you. I guess one of the other reasons I'm smiling today is because our plan was in the middle of the month. You know, February is a short month. So when you hit the 16th, we're halfway through the month, like for real, for real. And so we had all intentions of sharing the honoree of Black Futures Month, which is where we're talking about Black people that know Bitcoin too. And that person that is honored today is your very own Najah Roberts. And so we did this because a lot of people don't even understand. They hear me, they know that I have been an advocate in this cryptocurrency space for a while. They know me. Some people say that I'm the queen of crypto. Some people really don't know, or they just think that I am on the radio, which I am. But I've done so many more things, and I've done a lot of advocacy. And I have stressed over the last several couple of years the fact that in order to get our community where we need to be, I have decided, and it's my personal decision, and in some ways, you know, I, I battle with myself, and I'll just say that I have decided that in order to fulfill my mission, what the Most High has for me, that I would have to be mission over monetization. So that hasn't always allowed me to benefit as much as other people have in this cryptocurrency space, but I really feel that our community is worth the sacrifice. And so while everybody else may have been taking advantage and just breaking in funds, we've really been very meticulous to educate our community and make sure that our community was safe. And in doing that, we've garnered a bunch of different partnerships and opportunities. And so, as you all know, again, I am the honoree for Black Futures Month. Black people know Bitcoin too, just for today. And right now, you're listening to me on one of the things that I do, which is for Mr. Tavis Smiley, has an incredible radio station with a, a a stellar lineup of individuals that you all need to be tapping into, because we talk about everything from crypto to money, to social ills and the way music is being rolled out. I mean, there's just so relationships. There's a lot of people on this radio station, but I wanted to bring that out as we talk about ahead of the crypto curve. So we have ahead of the crypto curve here. One of the other things that I do is Crypto Kids Camp. And because of COVID and RSV, it's really been a challenge to get our sponsors not to want to be liable if the children are sick or any of that situation. And so, with the Crypto Kids Camp, we definitely will be doing that this summer. And then also, I do a yearly digital financial revolution tour where we travel to cities across the United States and we educate thousands of people on the importance of cryptocurrency. As you all know, I was chosen to be an educator for the Bitcoin Academy for Jay-Z and Jack Dorsey. And we are working with Roberts Innovation as well as a couple of other organizations to bring some education to the HBCUs as it relates to cryptocurrency, blockchain, anything in the fintech space. We've got to get our HBCUs up and running. And so also I am a co-founder of the Black Wall Street Wallet with Mr. Hill Harper, tech founder Hill Harper. And I just have to smile at that because he has some great things coming down the pipe. And it's not even concerning cryptocurrency or the Black Wall Street. And I think that our community is going to be so proud of what we are working on and doing alongside him. And so I'm excited. And so again, happy Black Futures Month to each and every one of you. We are making sure that our community is understanding emerging technologies. I know that this show is ahead of the crypto curve. And if you listen on Saturdays, Cassie has a show where she talks about different tech. Talk Tech to Me is what the name of her show is. But what we find is all of the cryptocurrency, blockchain, AI, virtual reality, Web3, all of those things are sort of intertwined. So we're going to ensure that you all have the best information because we have so many opportunities at our fingertips, and it's not going to get lost because I can't hold water. I'm going to tell y'all about it. And you all have got to really buckle down and really realize that things are changing. Things that we're sending our children to school for are changing. So lest they not come out of school with all these horrific bills and then find out that position has been taken over because there are new technologies that handle those things. So I just want to make sure that we're all abreast of those things. And I know Cassie will do the same job at making sure that you all get that information. And so today, when we come forward, I've been just talking away, but when we come forward, ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest announcements out of Washington from the SEC just came in by way of a proposed rule. So when we come forward, we're going to talk about it. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, welcome forward. So, as I go into my quote, I kind of feel like I'm going a little bit backwards because the SEC had some proposed rules that came out, and we'll talk about that in a second. But my quote says, in response to Coinbase's response to the SEC's proposed rules, I say, we are confident that we will remain a qualified exchange because guess what? We have never taken custody of anyone's assets. The original ethos of Bitcoin is self custody, and we have been that since day one. Yes, customers deserve to feel confident about their assets and that they are safe. As a reminder, our clients need to know Bitcoin is in their private wallet because not your keys, it's not your coin. So, that being said, we are going to just kind of dig in really quickly to one of the biggest announcements in cryptocurrency in this country specifically, because the SEC proposes a rule that would change which crypto firms can custody customers' assets. And I am going to repeat to each and every one of you over and over and over and over again. Custody of your Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency assets should never be held on anyone's exchange. So, while this does not apply to those of you that are listening to what we're saying, it will apply to those people that are new coming into the space and still allowing someone to take control of your money and your assets. It is not a good thing. But the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, proposed amending federal custody requirements that would expand the rule to include assets like cryptocurrencies, a change that will require cryptocurrency exchanges to gain further regulatory approval. And so the proposed changes would actually mandate custodians, including all of the cryptocurrency exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, all of those type of exchanges to secure and maintain certain federal or and state regulate registrations, even as regulatory bodies are both increasing in scrutiny or they're not liking cryptocurrency companies at all. They're going to make it very difficult to secure regulatory approval for crypto products. And I get it. I get it. I totally get it. And they should. But again, we wouldn't even be having these conversations if these exchanges were not taking advantage of people and custodying their Bitcoin when they know, or their cryptocurrency, when they know that this is not what this space is all about. And so, contrary to them putting in regulatory safeguards, they need to be focusing on educating people because if they educated them, they wouldn't even need to use these exchanges the way that they're proposing that these exchanges be used. And so that's one of the things that I want to say. The second thing I want to say is because Bitcoin is decentralized, they may very well try to destroy all of the railroads that lead to Bitcoin because Bitcoin is decentralized. There is absolutely no stopping Bitcoin, but they can do their very best to disassemble the infrastructure, the framework around people getting different Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. They can absolutely do that, but they can never stop Bitcoin. And some people say never. I'm going to say never because of the way that the protocol is set up, the way that the system is set up, and the way that most of the Bitcoin is already out on the market. Even though Bitcoin is being created every 10 minutes, there's no stopping that either. But 19 million, over 19 million of the 21 million that will ever be created is already out on the market, ladies and gentlemen. And that means people have it in their private wallets. And those of us that are in this space and understand that it does not matter what type of stipulations they put on exchanges, it does not stop the fact that we are creating an ecosystem. Our ecosystem has been created where we can custody our own coins. We can trade peer to peer. We can do whatever we need to do. We can figure this thing out as long as we are in control of the funds. And as a cryptocurrency Bitcoin user, you absolutely are in control of your funds. So I just wanted to say that because the Securities and Exchange Commission voted 4-1 on Wednesday to propose this sweeping change to the federal regulation that would expand these custody rules. And we thought that the market was going to react in a negative way. In fact, it has gone up. The price of Bitcoin hit $25,000 today. And everybody was thinking that Bitcoin was going to do the complete opposite. And so that leads us into our actual market update for this morning. And so monitoring the market can absolutely be exhausting, especially since it requires continuous attention and focus. So I know you thought I was going to say I'm here to do it all for you, but no, ladies and gentlemen, I will do a little bit of the work. And truth be told, you still need to do your due diligence. So let's take a look at a couple of quick markets so you can understand what's going on. And today, because there's some interesting things that are happening, I'm going to actually talk about some old money things as well. So as we look at cryptocurrency, Bitcoin right now is trading at $22,700. In the last hour, it's up 1.6%. In the last 24 hours, it's gone up 4.35%. And in the last 7 days, it's down 1.7%. Ethereum is at $1,586, trading 1.7% higher in the last hour and 5.08% in the last 24 months, 24 hours, not months. And in the last 7 days, it's down 5.29%. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's doing its thing. However, there are some things that you need to know because Bitcoin, after going down more than 11% since its peak at the start of the month, is now consolidating and it is moving above its support of around 21.6. The consumer price index price jumped almost 4% before reversing almost immediately. Traders that I'm been looking at today have further reinforced their bullish bias as to the support holding in the fear, uncertainty, and doubt situation. And it hasn't brought down any prices right now any lower. And when people have fear, uncertainty, and doubt, they stand on the sidelines to figure out where they need to put their money. And so we're seeing that everything is holding right where it needs to, and in fact, increasing in prices. And some of the things that happened were the U.S. consumer prices rose briskly at the start of the year, a sign that persistent inflationary pressures could push the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates even higher than previously expected. And so, again, when they tell us that they're not going to raise the interest rates anymore, a lot of that, again, in my opinion, is to not create public panic and get people spending and doing things because the overall consumer price index was 0.5% in January, the most it has been in 3 months, bolstering by energy and shelter costs, according to the data that I read from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Breakfast, ladies and gentlemen, is getting even more expensive as United States eggs prices, as we know, soared to 8.5% in January, while citrus fruits, cereal, and other baked goods are climbing as well. So again, it's going to take us more money to feed our families, which means Not necessarily that the price of money is dissipating, but it definitely is eating away at your savings because it's costing you more to feed your family, which means the price of the dollar is depreciating. That's what that means without them saying it that way. United States stocks actually dropped after the data showed inflation remains elevated, and it is bolstering expectations for additional Federal Reserves to raise the rate. And the 2 year Treasury yields. Yields in the Treasury are things that people have invested in, and they're supposed to be the most secure way to invest, but they have added more than 11 basis points to the 2 year Treasury year bonds and those yields. And so there's just so many different things happening. And I had to take a look. I'm a little bit nosy because, I talked to you all. I think that was back in September. If you start listening to my September shows, I was talking about the fact that all of the properties that we were looking at purchasing in certain areas had Chinese names on them. They were the sellers of these properties. And so as these Chinese balloons and different things are flying around, I didn't make the joke. I was being for real. They are literally checking on their real estate here in the United States. But I wanted to see how much the United States was it was costing us to shoot down these mystery UFOs. And UFO stands for unidentified flying objects. So we're not talking about anything helter skelter. When I say a UFO, it's just unidentified. They don't know what it is. So that's what a UFO is. But ladies and gentlemen, those missiles cost $439,000. One missile. And that's what they're using to shoot down these mysterious UFOs. Now, I look at that and say, what could we do with $439,000 as it relates to helping some of these communities get on their feet? They could do a whole heck of a lot with $439,000. But I understand, they have a job to do to protect the American citizens. But I found that very interesting when I found out the price of these missiles. But one of the other things that is in the old money space that I'm going to dip my toe into today is OPEC expects slightly tighter global oil markets than previously forecasted as the group nudged up its demand and estimate and trimmed its supply outlook, which means they're going to pay less for barrels of oil, but we're going to pay more for our gas and oil, which is quite interesting. So we're going to keep our eye again on the macro. With all that happening in the crypto space over the last year, Wall Street will be excused for wanting to take a rain check on digital assets, and I'm glad about that. But some of the big banks and financial firms are still likely to create different ways for people to acquire Bitcoin. And since they're already federally chartered, they're going to be able to not just allow people to buy it, but custody it for them. And I think that they're going all the way with this. They want everyone's Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to be custodied by someone other than themselves, just like they want all your money in the bank, as opposed to having it in your house. You don't have any other choices unless you're carrying wads of money around or hiding wads of money in the house. But they want the cryptocurrency space to look exactly like the old money systems. And so, ladies and gentlemen, just be prepared for individual companies, individual exchanges to start demanding that you custody your coins with them, because that's what it looks like our federal government is going to be pushing for. So with that, When we come forward after news, sports, and traffic, we will get into some more cryptocurrency conversations because Canada is doing some things as well. And I need you all to know that we are ahead of the crypto curve. And since we know better, we can do better, and we can always etch in our brains, not your keys, not your coin. With that, ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, this is KBLA Talk 1580. right, welcome forward, welcome forward. We are going to get into some information. I have, again, I'm just all smiles because so many things happen in this space, and it's good to be able to share with our community so you all know exactly what's going on and how to govern yourself in the future. So, for those of you that don't know, about 9 years ago in 2014, there was an exchange called Mount Gox. Mount Gox was like Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, Binance. It was the exact same, but only those exchanges did not exist. And Mount Gox is probably the reason why I have created an exchange myself and done it different than anybody else. And it's because I experienced Mount Gox. Now, how did I experience Mount Gox? Well, there were not a lot of exchanges out there that were reputable. There were tons of exchanges that were on the dark web, which means you had to get into these crazy online rooms, internet rooms, and trade with people that were doing all sorts of different things. But Mount Gox seemed to be more reputable. It looked more organized. It was user friendly. So your girl Najah decided I was going to invest and buy some Bitcoin and leave it on Mount Gox because that's what you had to do back in those days if you didn't have any friends that were really techie and that could tell you about the different wallets that were out there and available. And unfortunately, with me leaving my Bitcoin on Mount Gox got hacked and I lost all of my Bitcoin along with millions of other individuals. In fact, the hackers made off with 850,000 Bitcoin. And it was valued at the time, it was valued at about $460 million. But now it's worth almost 69 billion. And so it's a lot of Bitcoin. That happened 9 years ago. And regulators in here in the United States and abroad have been working to get all of us our Bitcoin back, whatever Bitcoin we held on the exchange. And about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years, they offered to give us 30% of the amount of Bitcoin that we had on the exchange at what it was worth back then. And I don't even think that's fair. I didn't even want to sign it, but something is better than nothing. However, they are stating that the two biggest creditors at Mt. Gox are definitely getting us our Bitcoin back, but they are going to settle for getting the payout in Bitcoin and not in fiat because nobody wants to go back into dollars just because there's so many things happening behind the scenes as we can all see with regular fiat. And so they're offering to give it back in Bitcoin. Now, I don't know when we as consumers will see it, but the main creditors are getting theirs back in Bitcoin. And we believe that that is one of the reasons why the price of Bitcoin jumped because what people are fearing is if this massive amount of Bitcoin gets given back to people, people are going to sell off because we've been waiting 9 years. And I mean, you know, people lost their life savings. Some people did lose their life savings. And so people are going to get this Bitcoin and they're going to want to sell it. And they don't want a massive exit of people coming out of Bitcoin. And so they're going to figure out how to get it back to individuals without creating this massive sell off, which would drop the price of Bitcoin. So I'm excited about that. Again, it comes up and it goes away, it comes back and it goes away. But you never have to worry about these things if you never leave your Bitcoin on someone else's exchange. So allow our kick in the backsides to be your game. And so make sure that you're not thinking about allowing Bank of America or anyone else to custody your Bitcoin. Because I am sure when all of these regulations come down, these banks who want to control the money, keep the money, make sure that you are um, accountable to them because you got to go through them to spend your Bitcoin. If they're custodying your Bitcoin, you really want to make sure that you're steering clear of that. And Mt. Gox is another reason that you should be staying away because that bird flew away with all of our Bitcoin in seconds. And when we looked up, the exchange was closed down and nobody has gotten a dime since 2014. So they have until March 10th to decide whether to take or give us an early lump sum or keep waiting for a potential payout. And whatever they decide affects us as investors, just small investors. We didn't have a whole boatload of Bitcoin in there, but anything based on what the price is right now would be great. But again, they're not even going to give us the price of what Bitcoin is right now. They're giving us our percentage based on what Bitcoin was back then. And that was 10 years ago. And that's a shame in and of itself because I think we could do much better with what it's worth today with a big smile on my face. But nevertheless, it's not going to happen. So I might as well get off that bandwagon. And another thing that happened was Canada is close to tightening their rules for cryptocurrency exchanges as well. The changes will ensure to simply will ensure that Canadian citizens are safe. Again, nobody is talking about educating. They're all talking about plans to really censor and control the cryptocurrency exchanges. So later this month, Canada's umbrella market regulators, the Canadian Securities Administrators, which is like our SEC, will tighten requirements for cryptocurrency exchanges operating in the country according to people who have been briefed on the plans. The collapse of FTX, they all note, is what is causing them to act expeditedly to resolve the CSA's regulatory issues, which announced midway through last year that they were going to make sure that there were new commitments for unregistered cryptocurrency trading platforms. And most people have just walked away and said, forget it. Because I know a couple of people that owned exchanges in Canada, over the counter exchanges, and they just literally said, forget it. It's not worth the headaches. They don't care whether or not people have access to Bitcoin because a lot of people get into this space about what's in it for me, as they should. They've got to take care of their family and they've got to leave a legacy. Excuse me, but the Securities and Exchange Commission has already began cracking down over there. And so we're going to see more of that here in the United States. And their efforts to police the industry is going to continue. And so I don't want anybody to be worried about the possibilities of demands against individuals and that sort of thing, because that's what a lot of people are asking. Are they going to come after us? And they're not going to come after you. They're going to want you, though, to custody your Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency, as I've stated, because that's a way for them to know who has what and all those things. But again, with Bitcoin being unstoppable, it's going to be hard and it's going to push people to sell cryptocurrency in the black market as they have never stopped doing. But it's going to also be not safe for individuals that are buying from individuals, in corners or in stores. I explained to you all that I've been in a Walmart and bought Bitcoin in the McDonald's that sits inside of the Walmart with an anonymous person. I don't know who I'm going to meet, but that's the way cryptocurrency was being sold. And so exchanges help you be safe. And so if you are purchasing cryptocurrency, please stay with an exchange. But we're going to do a great job at letting you know where you can purchase it without having to have your coins custody, because you don't have to do that. You will definitely, prayerfully, have a choice on whether or not to use a custody type exchange or an exchange where they teach you how to be self sovereign from day one. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we are going to jump into our Ask Najah Roberts, and we are going to talk about some of the workshops that we have coming up and what we are looking forward to. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, we are jumping back in. Jumping back in just about 20 seconds. All right, welcome forward. So I think I'm going to spend most of the time on Ask Najah Roberts talking a little bit more about cryptocurrency, taxes, how it's taxed, et cetera, et cetera. And then we'll have a big overall couple of days where we talk about it in its totality. So, what constitutes a taxable event? If you are selling cryptocurrency for regular fiat money, the dollar, so if you sell your cryptocurrency and you have some sort of gain, let's just say you bought $50 worth of Bitcoin and it's sitting there and you look in your account and now it says it's $75 and that's just a low amount. But that $25 difference means you had some sort of gain. And capital gain, depending on when you're selling it, or not a capital gain if it doesn't meet the different timelines. But nevertheless, selling cryptocurrency for fiat is a taxable event. Trading cryptocurrency, if you trade Bitcoin for Ethereum or any other um, type of cryptocurrency. So a like kind is pretty much a taxable event. So you could go from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin to Ethereum, Bitcoin to Dogecoin, whatever you're going through and to, it is a taxable event. Using cryptocurrency to purchase a good and service. So a lot of people have a misconception that if they get involved with an exchange that has a Visa or a MasterCard, and when you go to buy your Starbucks and they pull your cryptocurrency out of there, that you don't have to pay taxes. Well, you just pay taxes, state tax on that Starbucks, but you're also going to have to pay federal taxes because you use that cryptocurrency to purchase a good or service, which is why I am suggesting that people do as I'm doing. Again, I'm not providing any financial advice, but if you're stacking Satoshis, you won't have to worry about those things. But receiving cryptocurrency as a result of a fork, mining, airdrop, or exchange for a good and service. So let me just say this. A lot of times, Coinbase used to have these things where they give you an airdrop. They give you free cryptocurrency. So let's just say, I don't know, let's just say the neat coin is coming out. And the neat coin helps you keep your house neat. Like, I don't know, I'm just making up something. And so, in order for them to publicize or market the neat coin, what they do is they drop it in a bunch of people's accounts on Coinbase, and then they tell you that it's free if you click on it and learn what the neat coin is. You literally have to pay taxes on that airdrop, ladies and gentlemen. It is not free. But they've not only bamboozled you to think that you're getting a gift that you don't have to pay taxes on, they further, and it has been my experience, maybe some other people's experience has been different, they coerce you to buy more of the neat coin because you need a certain amount of coin to either trade it or pull it out. And so that's how they loop you in to buying more of the coin that they're trying to push and promote. But not only that, they can now say that we have, let's just say they drop it to 50,000 people. They can now say that they have 50,000 users, not because you bought it or you believe in it, but because they airdropped it to you. And technically speaking, you are one of the users. And so they're able to use that to get more money, get more funding, and those sorts of things. But that airdrop is taxable. If you exchange for goods or services, like I pay CJ in Bitcoin, that's taxable. I have to pay the taxes along with the fact that I pay for my service. And so I'm very careful not to do those things. So, what is not taxable, really quick, is purchasing Bitcoin with regular money. Is absolutely not taxable. It's not taxable for you to hold it in your own private wallet and not do anything. It's not taxable. If you donate cryptocurrency to a tax exempt organization on a carryover basis, and I'm not going to get all the way into that, but that's non-taxable. Gifting crypto, again, in a carryover basis, up to $15,000. And so a lot of people at the end of the year have to donate, and so they donate to their crypto to different nonprofit organizations or tax exempt organizations. That is not a taxable event. Transferring cryptocurrency from one wallet that you own to another wallet that you own is not taxable. And I'm going to say that again, it is not taxable. So if Coinbase sent you a 1099, they are in error. You do not have to pay taxes on cryptocurrency that you moved from Coinbase into your private wallet. That is just their way of reporting to the government that you have cryptocurrency, in my opinion. And I may be wrong, but that's what I feel like they're doing. Because why else would they send people 1099s and you've not sold your Bitcoin? You just moved it off their platform into your own private wallet. That is not taxable, and you should not be getting a 1099, and you do not and should not pay taxes on that, because that is not right. It is not, it does not go according to the taxation laws. So just make sure that you are well aware of that. And so that is the Ask Najah Roberts. We're going to go over a couple more of those small things as we move throughout the month, because we got to get ready for that tax filing that's coming up in April. We are also going to have another Crypto Essentials workshop on March 4th at 4 p.m. You can get online and register for that. You can go to meetup.com/crypto plug. Again, meetup.com/crypto plug, and you can get information about that. When we come forward, ladies and gentlemen, we will do our daily dollar cost average, because you know I say a DCA a day keeps poverty away. This is KBLA Talk 1580. We are back to it in 30 seconds. All right, welcome forward. Welcome forward. We are wrapping up our fabulous show today with our daily dollar cost average. So, what we're going to do is take out our Black Wall Street wallet, which is located on our cell phones. And we are going to click on the purple circle in the middle, and it has two arrows that go each direction. We are going to click on continue, and we're going to buy $6 worth of Satoshis. We do this every day on the air so that our community understands that you don't have to pay a whole $22,000 for a Bitcoin. You can get one of the smallest increments of a Bitcoin, which is a Satoshi. Satoshis are to Bitcoin like a penny is to a dollar. And so we are doing this by clicking on $6, and then we're going to put it in our prospective wallets. Mine is going in the KBLA Talk 1580 wallet. We're going to do this until April 1st. And in April 1st, I'm going to show you all how much Bitcoin I have acquired by doing a dollar cost average, buying Bitcoin when it is high, buying Bitcoin when it is low, buying Bitcoin when you think it's questionable, buying Bitcoin when you're super excited about what's going on in the space. No matter what, we're buying in the good, the bad, the ugly. And so we are stacking Satoshis. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we can click continue, and it's just that easy. But if you don't want to do this every day, you can set it up and you can forget it. And it can do it manual. It can do it for you automatically, but you can continue to do it manually, just as I do, because some days I want to buy more than $6. I might want to buy 10. Maybe I decided to do something a little bit different. And I might be looking at the market and realize that this is a great time because Bitcoin is on sale. But we're going to dollar cost average our way to wealth on the other side of money in our community. So y'all don't touch that dial. It is time to make way for the DL Hughley Show. And I want to thank each and every one of you for rocking with me, your host, Najah Roberts, on Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where we are creating Satoshi millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time. And ladies and gentlemen, that means you.
You're listening to Najah Roberts on Ahead of the Crypto Curve. Please follow her on all social media platforms at Najah Roberts. No underscores, no dots, no numbers, just Najah Roberts. Let's close the wealth gap. It's our turn. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Learn or get left behind. Create your own economy. Let's get ahead of the crypto curve.